Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to the 4th of April, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and SSW Ensembles. Maybe we'll try in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us well into the second half of April. And I should get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first. Video already say was the 6th UK weather forecast. And we've also released a second update for Easter as well. So please check out all of today's videos and content. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Thank you so much, everybody, for buying fluffy merch. Our fluffy merch promotion continues. So there it is in all of its glory there. We've got mugs, we've got coasters, pins, and chocolate. That we are selling for Easter. It's an Easter tie-in with Fluffy. So, I mean, that's the full set. We've also got the chocolates, of course. So there's mini eggs, cream eggs, and a Malteser as well. But, keep the buddy thing going, of course. But that you can enjoy nibbling on. There we go. Close-up of the lovely mugs there. And close-up of coasters, and also a close-up there of the pin. That's your fluffy pin. We want a fluffy pin. So if you would like to get yourself a little bit of fluffy merch, all you need to do is send £15 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal account. Here it is. The GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. I just send 15 quid there, and put a little note in saying it's for fluffy merch, and we shall get that out to you. You've got until about Friday to buy your fluffy merch. So if you want a bit of fluffy merch, then that's how you do it. You know, just send £50 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal account, and we will send that out to you. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved. We've had a lot of sales, actually. Very surprised how many sales we've had for our fluffy merch. So clearly, lots of fluffy fans out there, I think, enjoy their fluffy merch. I don't know. So thank you so much, everybody. It does help to pay for the channel. It's another revenue stream that's helping me be able to do all of this, you know. So thank you so much to all of you for getting involved with fluffy merch. I suppose I'd better say thanks to Fluffy, hadn't I? Thanks, Fluffy. Right, here we go then. We're going to start off with the situation in the stratosphere. So, solar winds are about to come out of reverse. You'll know that since the beginning of March, we have had a reversal of solar winds at 10 HPA, 60 degrees north. Been a very prolonged reversal of solar winds that we've seen as well. We now see the solar wind almost getting back into positive territory. I think when we look at this tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, we will find that solar winds have come out of reverse. That's something what GFS Ensembles are forecasting for the next couple of weeks. Green lines here showing that we go back into positivity of the zonal wind. So the SSW, the major southern stratospheric warming event that reversed solar winds at 10 HPA 60 degrees north over the Arctic Equatorial Pole is about to come to a close. We are now waiting to see what, if any, tropospheric response we get to that. And we'll keep you updated, of course. Central temperature is still sitting at 8.2, about 2.5 degrees above 61 to 99. Average rate provisional to yesterday to be 24th of March, turned into another very mild month. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at London today. Red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London, starting off around average at the moment. The upper air temperatures will be ticking up a little bit over the next 24 hours or so. Is associated with low pressure core. So another little dip in the upper air temperatures later on in the week, heading towards Easter. Then into the Easter weekend and the beginning of April, find the upper air temperature beginning to push back upwards again. For maybe dropping later on in the first week of April, and then maybe rising later on. Now, there's a lot of them scatter when we get, there's a lot of scatter, I should say, when we get into the first week of April. Now, we have got cold ensemble members down here, but we've got a lot of mild ensemble members, even warm ensemble members starting to appear up here as well. So maybe our first significant push-up in the temperature could be on the way by the end of the first week of April, after a cold snap earlier on in the period. However, it's a long way off and therefore very unreliable. Whether temperatures are up or down, one thing that doesn't change, one thing that never changes, of course, is the rainfall. So, I mean, just lots of precipitation spikes there, virtually from beginning to end. The deluge continues for another, not only for the rest of March, probably into April. I'm going to say for another month, but that will give a right idea up to about 4 weeks. So, into another month, let's say. The deluge continues into another month there, with loads of precipitation still to come. So, sorry everybody, temperature anomalies from 25th March, 2nd of April, around average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the 25th of March to 2nd of April, wetter than normal, particularly so for England, Wales and Ireland. No, I mean, how often have we been saying this over the past several months? Another wetter than average week ahead. Latest Windflow Map from earthnullschool.net shows we've got low pressure sitting just to the west of the country today. Oh, once again, we're looking pretty unsettled with this low pressure, no doubt bringing further wet weather and rain at times. Okay, let's start going through your important chart data. Remember, SSW Latest UK Bet Euro Run is looking big night on Thursday. Deep low pressure just to our west. Plenty of rain sweeping north and east across the country into the weekend. Keep those areas of low pressure going as well, with further bouts of rain to come by the end of Easter. This gets to Easter, but we've got an area of low pressure across northern parts of France. Winter pulling into the east, starting to try and bring down some colder air from the north with that as well. And this low could produce a lot of heavy rain for Easter Monday. Icon, again, with low pressure, one truly in the ascendancy on Thursday. Keep low pressure coming into the Easter weekend as well. That's going to end up with Icon, so a blocking area of high pressure going around Greenland, Iceland then. Cold air trying to dig in from the northeast, and area of low pressure over France will be trying to bring warmer air up from France, and also outbreaks of rain. And we've got an easterly wind as well. That looks pretty grim, I think, for Easter Monday. That easterly wind will have a chill to it, and I would expect, particularly for myself, could be really quite wet. KMA, again, all looking very cyclonic through the middle part of the week into the end of the week as well. Now, you get into the Easter weekend, we've got this area of low pressure to our south with a blocking area of high pressure around Greenland, Iceland, winds coming in from the east. That east wind is dragging in colder air. It actually turns northeasterly. So the KMA is saying cold and wintry here through the opening days of April, before maybe hinting at milder air starting to get back in again by the 6th of April. That's as we get to with the KMA. But certainly, you know, that period around the 2nd, 3rd, 4th April, looking really quite wintry wet there with those northeasterly winds, a late blast of winter to come if the KMA is right. Just one model, of course. Let's have a GFS midnight run. We're talking again low pressure, bringing lots of unsettled conditions in off the Atlantic on Thursday with bouts of rain. Into the Easter weekend, the low pressure moves further southwards as heights rise around Greenland, Iceland. Winds pulling into the east and to the northeast. A proper easy start to drag colder air in from the north as we go from Easter Monday into Tuesday. Relatively mild with the upper air temperature down south. This temperature contrast could fuel a lot of heavy rain as well, though, through the early part of next week. Eventually, that northeast wind does start digging in with the GFS midnight run, and the cold air starts pushing southwards as well. Oh, we have to think about not only rain, maybe a little bit of snow there through for a time through next week. Around day 10 and beyond it, low pressure then starts coming back in from the Atlantic, so we start turning milder, but still very unsettled. And overall, it looks pretty cold, I have to say, right way through the first week of April with the GFS midnight run. Some mild air, sometimes getting into southeast, but most parts of the country, especially the north and west, kept within the cold air with those areas of low pressure. So all the way up to the end of the GFS midnight run, generally quite a cold-looking scenario. This is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS midnight run. Lots of wet weather to come over the next few days, of course. Showery bursts. And by Wednesday to Thursday, some very wet weather in across England and Wales. Even a little bit of snow with that through parts of the Midlands. There were showery conditions then continuing into Easter also. It just goes on, doesn't it? Sunday's a little bit drier, but then we get into Bank Holiday Monday with a lot of heavy rain and some snow for Scotland. A major snow event actually on Bank Holiday Monday there for Scotland. Really wet across northern parts of England, but rain turning more and more to snow with time and coming south, so even into Wales and Midlands there by Tuesday next week. There's a little bit of snow again. Don't take this too seriously, but the idea, but this could be quite a wintry, certainly very wet, but also potentially rather wintry couple of weeks to come. Eventually we go back into something milder again without rates of rain away from the north. Then there's some quite significant snow, well, heavy rain and snow for England and Wales there Sunday the 7th of April. Again, not sure about that, but imagine if that did come off. Wouldn't that be remarkable after a completely snowless winter? And we finish up with wintry showers in the north. Quite a GFS midnight run there. GFS 6Z again showing low pressure in the ascendancy and dominating the weather on Thursday. Deep low just to our west. Eventually the low pressure starts slinking away to the south for a while through the early part of the eastern period and then pushes back northwards again, blocking the area of high pressure building over Greenland and Iceland. Lots of cold air lurking just to our north. We've also got some very warm air pushing up from the south though, so there'll be a weather front here, not quite in that position, but you get the idea. Weather front that's marking the boundary between this warm air surging northwards, especially through central eastern parts of Europe, and the cold air that's trying to push southwards. At this time of the year, you know, into April, that can fuel some really wet weather, actually. So we do have to watch out, I think. Bank Holiday Monday to Tuesday could be one to watch with disruptive rainfall and on the northern edge, snowfall as well, and that's for Scotland in particular. Yeah, it's going to be an Easter that keeps us on our toes, I think. Eventually, through next week, that low pressure gets out into the North Sea, the cold air starts to come southwards across the country. And they go into extended range with just low pressure meandering about the place until the very end of the GFS 6Z run, when higher pressure starts trying to get involved from the Atlantic. But even then, still bring down quite chilly northwest winds. So this is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6Z run again for weather outlook. So further showery conditions to come over the next few days. Could be particularly wet late Wednesday into Thursday with that secondary area of low pressure bringing lots of wet conditions with it, and further showery weather continuing into the Easter weekend as well. Sunshine and showers going on. And then further bouts of rain from Sunday into Monday, when we could set up a very wet pattern, particularly so in the north and west, from snow again possible for Scotland there on Bank Holiday Monday. And then through next week, the cold air comes southwards, so shower turning increasingly wintry, especially in the northern half of the country. Another batch of really wet weather by the end of next week into south with snow on the northern edge with that. Further heavy rain there Saturday the 6th of April as well for the south. Oh dear, oh dear. I think we could well be seeing more flooding issues over the next week or two if this is right. Eventually we're going to those northwesterly winds and we're looking more showering. If you enjoy the video, I know it's a bit grim. If you like, unless you like sort of cold, wet weather in the middle of spring. But anyway, if you are enjoying the presentation of the video anyway, not necessarily the content of the video, then please do like, share, subscribe anyway. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. I mean, it is what it is. We just got to call it as it is. We can't put a gloss on anything. And it's pretty grim, I have to say. This is a pretty grim outlook now that we're pushing through into April, when we want the weather to start settling down and warming up. I think most of us do anyway, after a very long, wet, dank winter. I mean, it is a grim outlook, but anyway, if you are enjoying the video, please like, share, subscribe. We need to put around 35 subscribers to get to 18.1k, so if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be incredible. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, GM, again with low pressure just to our west on Thursday, bouts of rain associated with that. Into Easter, we'll have further showers coming and going as well. Eventually, we start trying to drag in some colder air from the north. To our east, we've got some quite warm air again, which is the kind of pattern that could fuel very wet weather with the temperature contrast there. And again, I think we're blocking high pressure up we are seeing on all models up here is probably at least partly down to the SSW. So I think that is probably the tropospheric response to the reversal zone wind at 10 HPA, 60 degrees north that we've had over the past several weeks. So we have to wait and see whether we get, not just because we get blocking area of high pressure doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get cold from it, especially this late in the season. So we have to wait and see whether that actually delivers anything particularly cold to us. But it certainly will help lock us into, or keep us into, an unsettled pattern, I think, anyway. And then the ECM looks like that. So again, much very cyclonic when we get through the Thursday. 965 millibar area of low pressure sitting just to our west with plenty of showers and or long spells ready to come. Into the Easter weekend, stays unsettled as well. The low pressure slinks away down to Biscay. Heights rising to the north through the Easter weekend, and then we pull in these northeasterly winds as we go through next week. So although initially not too bad with the upper air temperature, it does turn colder as next week progresses, with the -5 Celsius ice coming southwards and eastwards. It will feel quite wintry through the middle part of next week if this comes off. And it's all courtesy of that blocking area of high pressure around Greenland and Iceland. Day 10 looking cold across most of northern and western Europe. Actually, very cold area across Scandinavia for the time of the year. And just looking generally cold really across most parts of northern and western Europe there. By day 10, this is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TemPetShow.com. Yeah, further showery conditions to come. Maybe something a little bit wintry at times as well. Later on in the week, so cold and wet, a little bit of sleet mixed in maybe. Oh dear, we get through into the weekend, staying showery at very least over weekend, although probably not quite as wet as some of the models actually. Those areas of low pressure tend to be further away from us over the Easter weekend, so not as bad with the ECM as some of the model output, but nevertheless still quite chilly, and eventually we start turning colder as well with wintry showers up in the north. This is the option on the table within the ECM Ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 4th of April. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM Ensembles, all of them with a blocking area of high pressure around Greenland and a trough of low pressure across the north and western Europe, and the wind being forced into a cold northeasterly direction. So the ECM Ensemble is certainly very bullish about a cold start to April here. All of them going for that. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 9th of April. 30 members of the ECM Ensemble still very unsettled, but turning milder. The blocking area of high pressure is moving more towards the Canadian side of Greenland, and so that allows the wind to go back into the southwest. That begins to pull up some milder, or slightly less cold air anyway. But the big caveat with that is it's still low pressure dominated, and that low would still be bringing lots of rain in with it. And then 21 members of the ECM Ensembles, perhaps raising the heights just a little bit more, so turning slightly drier there by day 14. But overall, I think we're still looking at quite an unsettled outlook. Sorry again, everybody. And CFS V2 finally beats a 500 millibar height, and I was bringing down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 25th of March to the 31st, last day of the month. Low pressure dominates across the north and the west of Europe, so very unsettled for week 1. Week 2 is the 1st to the 7th of April, still with low pressure just to the west of the country, remaining very unsettled with that one. Week 3 will be the 8th to the 14th of April, low pressure just out to our west, higher pressure ridging a bit more to the east. And then finally, week 4 is the 15th to the 21st of April, with high pressure blocking between Iceland and Scandinavia, winds in from the east. No, certainly more of an anticyclonic flavour anyway for weeks 3 and 4. Should be drier, probably quite warm for week 3, but turning cooler maybe for week 4. We shall see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please you like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. And why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. We thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for us. And as I say, we only put around 35 subscribers to get to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be incredible. Thank you so much. Just tell you what's happening on our channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6am UK weather forecast, the extended European outlook, looking at the weather across Europe for the next 30 days. And also, there'll be a 10 to 14 dayer as well. Please keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your money. Bye for now.